Well, believe it or not, I did actually shave this morning. I think the camera makes me look hairy. I've been for a swim. I have to say that my local, well, it's not my local pool, I don't go there because they're bastards. That's where I had all that trouble 4 years ago. And I won't go there. They don't help me to get in or out of the pool. They just watch me struggle. And one of them there is a complete bully. But anyway, that's all beside the point. What I wanted to talk about, just briefly, this isn't the main subject of what I'm going to talk about, is Whittlesea Pool, called the Manor Leisure Centre. And those people there are really excellent. Not only do I like all of them, but they're all very nice to me, and they say hello to me by my name and have a laugh and a chat. And they're extremely helpful. They make sure I get into the pool, and they make sure that I'm helped to get out of it, because that's my major problem, is getting out of it, not getting in. And they keep me informed by telephone about what's going on. They told me, I had a phone call to say that the work hadn't been finished yet, so the disabled steps were still not available. But then they called me at 7:10 this morning to say that they'd managed to put the disabled steps in despite the work not being finished. They just took one of the barriers down. Anyway, so I went for my swim. I was really very pleased with that. Anyway, do you know, we as human beings have got used to really blaming other people for how we feel and what we think, and yet it's quite obvious that our feelings and our belief systems belong to us, and they're not caused by other people. When you say that so and so makes me angry, they don't make you angry at all. You react with anger to them. Other people don't. If it was something about them that created the anger, then everybody would be made angry by them. And that clearly isn't the case, because there are people that really piss me off that other people don't get pissed off by. So the problem is within me. It's, and the same goes for other people. That the way they are has got nothing to do with you. If they treat you badly, they're treating you badly because of who they are, not because of who you are. Do you know, that was my epiphany 4 years ago, when I finally realised that I hadn't been physically and sexually and emotionally tortured all through my childhood because of who I was, but because of who they were. The problem was always with them. It was never with me. And as a result of that, you now see the person that you see. I never used to dress the way that I dress. I would never have had the nerve to dress the way that I dress, particularly going to dog shows. And suddenly I'm wearing colour. And, I mean, I wouldn't have been seen dead in an orange shirt or orange boots or, these Doc Martens with flowers on, etc. All of that's happened because I was released. It took me 49 bloody years to figure it out. It was the most painful part of my recovery. I'm not kidding, I cried for 5 months non-stop. And when I finally got to the dregs, I really didn't think I'd survive it. It was just, I can't describe it. I was like an animal rolling around on the floor, and these sounds that came out of me. Finally that little boy was able to get out and go. Because I finally understood. See, I'd blamed myself all my life for not being what my parents wanted to be. And I believed, had I been what they wanted to be, that they would have loved me and taken care of me and protected me, instead of bully me and abandon me and reject me. The abandonment was the worst. I'd had a dream that sort of preempted what happened in 2007, and that dream was dreadful. I woke up from it and I was shaken to the core by it, and I didn't really understand it. I was walking with my family and I was attached to them with this cord, and it was cut and I drifted off, and the feeling that I experienced from that was what I eventually came to experience, you know, the utter abandonment and the realization that I had been completely abandoned, not just by them but my brothers too, because that's how they deal with parents who didn't accept and love us, by ignoring it and painting me as the devil. But you have to realise, you know, that other people really do treat you because of the way that they are inside, and you treat other people the way you are inside. As I've already pointed out, other people don't make you angry. You react with anger. If this wasn't true, we'd all believe the same things. We'd all either believe in capital punishment or disbelieve in capital punishment. And our desire for capital punishment has absolutely nothing to do with the criminal and what they did. Nothing whatsoever at all to do with that. It's to do with you. It's to do with your feelings, your thought process. It's like these fundamentalists who go on that they believe what they believe because the Bible tells them to believe it. And it's nonsense. They've read it, they've made the decision that this is all true, and at the same time what they're really saying is that my judgment is infallible. I've read this, it's the truth. I have judged it to be the truth. And their faith, therefore, is in themselves. It's not in anybody else. It's certainly not in a God. It's in themselves. Their faith is in their ability to judge. Of course, they'll never accept that. And it's why each and every fundamentalist I've ever come across all has a completely different view of God. And the one thing they all have in common is that they are absolutely dead right. And people who are absolutely dead right cause all sorts of problems, real evil problems. In the old days, the people who thought they were right, like Queen Mary, the one before Elizabeth, or the one after Elizabeth, burned people at the stake because she was dead right. And she believed that the agony of being burned at the stake would purify their soul. Evil cow. But you know, we react to people the way we are, and we see the world the way we are. We don't see the world the way it is. We see the world the way we are. And science confirms this. Our brains interpret the world and put it in a way that we can vaguely understand. But what we see is not what the world is. It's the picture our brain gives us. And there's so much that we don't see that's going on, all at the subatomic level. There are various different vibrations. We don't see it. We don't see X-rays, we don't see gamma rays. There's all sorts of things that we don't see. But the world that we live in is interpreted individually by ourselves. We all see the world completely differently. We judge it from our experience. Think about it. It's all you. It's all me. That's all that is the difference. We cannot blame other people for the way that we react to them. You know, there is no absolute right, same as there is no absolute wrong. That's why we are responsible, personally responsible. That's what it means. If you're experiencing